The Carolina Hurricanes are searching for their fourth straight win, and they're looking to get that tonight at home against the St. Louis Blues as they kick off a 3-game week. Find out how they can come away with the win in tonight's game in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
Your Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of today. And don't forget to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis _96. And in today's episode, folks, like I said, the Carolina Hurricanes are taking on the St. Louis Blues. And Hurricanes looking to get their fourth straight win, and the Blues are looking to avoid their third straight loss. So this is going to be an interesting game tonight. The Blues are not the same team that we've seen in years past. Really been struggling this year. I believe they are sitting at, oh man, Blues are at 26, 27, and 3 this year, 55 points and 6th in the Central Division there. 10 points out of a wild card spot there in the Western Conference as of recording. So they're kind of struggling right now. They're just coming off of dealing their captain Ryan O'Reilly to Toronto. If you remember, about a week and a half ago, they dealt Vladimir Tarasenko to the New York Rangers, and they're just kind of realizing that the time has come to really kind of move on from some of these guys. So they're starting to ship people off, and get assets and whatnot, which you see that all the time in professional sports. But just because they're struggling and they're starting to blow things up there in St. Louis does not mean that the Hurricanes need to underestimate this team and think it's going to be a cakewalk, because it's not going to be. I've said that countless times that, yeah, just because the team is good, it doesn't mean that they're not an NHL team and they can't win the game. They've won 26 games this year. 3 losses have been forced into overtime. So, they can still win games. And the Hurricanes, they in the past, we've been critical of them, underestimating teams that you would think would be an easy win. Can't do that tonight, and I think the Hurricanes do realize that. And I'm really looking forward to this game because while the Blues are struggling, the Hurricanes are rolling right now. Again, they're looking for their fourth straight win. They're coming off the win in the Stadium Series against the Capitals. We'll talk more about the Stadium Series and just that whole experience in one of the episodes tomorrow. And one thing that I said last week, that I wanted to see was Jesperi Kotkaniemi, really step up to the plate, and he has since then. And he has scored the opening goal in back-to-back games, and he has 7 points in his last 6 games. So that's what I want to see from Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I want to see him stepping up to the plate like this. And with that, it's nice to see things starting to pay off for him. He's been under the microscope since he came here. With that microscope, or since the offer sheet, excuse me. And I'm really enjoying to see things paying off for him. His hard work. He's worked his butt off. To earn his spot there on the second line center, and you're starting to see it on the score sheet. And when they signed him to that big extension, that's what they expected. That's what they wanted out of him. To be, you know, 7 points in the last 6 games. They're wanting him, to not only just play a good all around game out on the ice, show up on the score sheet. You're the second line center, supposed to, but things are paying off for him. And then his line mate Marty Natchez absolutely killing it this season. When I was taking my notes for this episode, I didn't believe it when I first saw it. He's leading the team in points right now. He's coming off yet another multi-point game, and he's coming off a 3-point game alone in the Stadium Series game against the Capitals. He's leading the team in points with 51 points, 22 goals, and 29 assists. Again, I still had to double take when I read it there on the notes, because I knew he was having a killer season, but I didn't even realize it was as good as what it was. And talk about a bounce back season. So obviously, I want to see that continue with him. See it continue tonight. See it continue in the next game against Ottawa, and just keep it rolling with him. He's having a heck of a season. And again, still didn't believe it when I read it here in my notes, that the fact that Martin Natchez is leading the team in points, and not in a bad way, in a good way too. And when it comes to the guys in between the pipes as well, we're good there. As of recording at a little after 10 in the morning, no lineup has been announced, but I imagine it's going to be the same as what we've seen. I think the only thing, maybe you flip the goalie, but it really doesn't matter because both have been really, really good. So it's just one of those things. Whatever Rod decides to do, it'll work out. Freddie, he's at 8-1-0 and a .912 save percentage since he came back from injury. Antti Ranta is 11-0-2 since mid-November. So again, whatever Rod decides to do, it's not going to be a bad decision. So it's so many times. I've speculated, we're gonna go with this goalie, we're gonna go with that goalie, we're gonna flip this line, flip that line, whatever. I've been wrong quite often whenever I do my lineup predictions. But with the way the team has been rolling as of late, you can't go wrong with whichever goalie you decide to put in. I would put money on Antti Ranta, but again, I've been wrong countless times. But Freddie, he's gotten the starts, the past few games, so I would go with Ranta. Let Freddie sit so you don't overwork him, and then just go from there. As far as forward lines, unless there is an injury that we are not aware of, I imagine it's pretty much going to be the same as what we've been seeing. Is same with defensive pairs. Unless there's something going on that we're not aware of, I'd say it's probably going to be the same thing we've been seeing. But it is what it is, and whatever. If Rod decides to flip a few guys in the forward group, go for it. I don't see defensive pairs getting moved at all. So that's going to be what it is. And then whatever goalie, it's going to be the right decision. That's the thing. No, there's not a wrong move here. Again, I think it's just going to be the way it's been going. But with tonight's game, there definitely is things that the Hurricanes need to accomplish in this game for sure. If they're wanting to come away with the win, start the week off right. They got 3 games this week. They're wanting to get off on the right foot. Let's not have a Stadium Series hangover or anything like that. We're going to talk about the keys to the game right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, all right, Stadium Series come and gone, but we got games tonight. We got 3 games this week. And if you're wanting to place a bet on any of the Hurricanes games this week or any other game, whether it's basketball or whatever, FanDuel has you covered. We're at the midway point of the NBA season, and now is the perfect time to download the FanDuel app, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drained. Or again, if you want to bet on a hockey game, FanDuel has you covered there. Like I said, Hurricanes got a busy week coming up. And then we got this whole back half of the season as well. So if you want to bet on your Hurricanes or your other favorite hockey team, FanDuel has you covered. And plus, FanDuel lets you combine bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to fanduel.com/locked on. That's fanduel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, keys to the game tonight. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, Blues have been struggling as of late. And, they're just dealt their captain. They dealt Vladimir Tarasenko not too long ago as well. I thought, the Hurricanes could potentially make a move for, but, it ended up just not being the case. And that's fine. We're just going to move on to the next one. It is what it is. But, a big thing with this is don't underestimate the Blues. And I've said that many times. It's potential trap game here. The Blues aren't the team that they were, a couple years ago. They aren't the team they were last year. But that doesn't mean that they can't win hockey games. They've shown, they can. Again, they've won 26 this year, 26, 27, and 3. They can force overtime. Hasn't done it very often, but anything can happen on any given night in the NHL. And you know, with that, I think the Hurricanes do understand, that this is sort of a trap game. Sort of. It's not like an Arizona or something like that where it's like, oh, okay, obviously that, but this still is a game that going in, this is a game that the Hurricanes are supposed to win, especially this year. And I feel like the Hurricanes, with that, again, do not underestimate the Blues. That is going to be big here. Don't just, yeah, it's an easy night tonight, guys. Nothing like that. So don't underestimate him. Play it like you would any other game. And I think, that's going to be the biggest thing tonight is don't think it's a cakewalk. Don't think you can just, sit back and relax, just give, 80% effort or anything like that. No, Hurricanes need to go out there and give 100%. And I do think they will. But, you know, another big thing, with this is, getting off to a strong start. In so many instances, they have not wanted to play the full 60 minutes and, kind of third period, they sit back and, just would do whatever, just like, just take their foot off the gas. And, you know, they can't do that tonight. And, obviously, playing the full 60, but again, you have to get off to a strong start. I mentioned earlier with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, him scoring in back-to-back opening contests. I'd like to see that again. He's kind of on a bit of a roll right now. Let's see that continue. And in the last game in the Stadium Series, about 2.5 minutes, that he scored in that game. And let's take advantage of the Blues having to deal off some really big pieces of their roster, and let's take advantage of that. They're, like I said, they're not the team that they were. Let's take advantage of it, and really just go out and show why the Hurricanes are a Stanley Cup contending team. I think that's going to be big. It could be a big statement like, hey, we can beat anyone on any night, whether you're good, whether you're bad, middle of the road, doesn't matter. Hurricanes are going to beat you. And I do think this is a night where the Hurricanes don't underestimate the Blues. They get off to a strong start. Again, if we see Jesperi Kotkaniemi continue to, you know, get off to hot starts in the games, and then the big thing, Hurricanes playing the full 60 minutes. Don't take the foot off the gas. You ain't got to run up the score, but you know, don't just kind of sit back and let the Blues make any sort of comeback. If that's the case, at that point in the game, can't let that happen, guys. Cannot let that happen. And again, it's a busy week. We got some momentum on our side. We've run 3 straight, looking to get 4 straight. We got a busy week. We got 3 games this week, folks. We got tonight against St. Louis. Then next game is, we're going to find out. It is against Ottawa. I do know that, but so on Friday, again, it's here. Friday against Ottawa, and then Saturday against Anaheim. The Hurricanes got a busy week this week, and let's start it off right. And because sometimes you may think, oh yeah, it's just one game, whatever, but they got momentum on their side right now. Let's keep that going. Let's keep building. And I do think that the Hurricanes will do that tonight. I really do. They're rolling, and they're firing on all cylinders, and everyone is stepping up and doing their job. And that's what's going to take this team into the playoffs and potentially to a Stanley Cup. But that's it for tonight. But one thing I do want to talk about is this past weekend, and what that meant for the organization and the fan base. We're going to talk more about that right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, as you can hear, I'm a little under the weather. I don't feel great, but that doesn't mean that you can't feel great. And one thing that can help you feel good is Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens, they've been a long time sponsor of the show, and multivitamins are really, really important. Tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important that you choose one with a high quality ingredients so that your body will actually absorb them. AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing that you can do every single day to take care of yourself. And your subscription comes with a year's supply of vitamin D, which is so important to add into these winter months as we don't get that much sunlight. And as you guys know, it is lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy free, or gluten free. It's going to be right for you. So, and it also contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything, while still tasting good. And AG1 supports better sleep quality and recovery, supports mental clarity and alertness. It's the one thing with the best things. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. I'm gonna drink mine once I get done with this recording. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1 year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now, looking back, on the stadium series, this was, we'll talk more about it in one of the episodes tomorrow. We got to recap tomorrow's game, and then I want to do a full episode dedicated to the stadium series and just what it meant for Raleigh, for the Hurricanes, and what we can expect moving forward. But just quick thoughts on this is, I it it was really something. It is a once in a lifetime experience of going and experiencing that, especially in Raleigh. It's not like, oh, they're playing against Boston or whatever. They're in Fenway or Gillette or whatever. A team that's experienced it a lot. It's not like that. The Hurricanes were hosting this. Insane. Absolutely insane to think about. And they really, the Hurricanes, yeah, we'll talk more about how I feel like the league kind of shortchanged folks and things that I think NC State could have done a bit better. Uh, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But the Hurricanes themselves, they killed it, and they went all out, and like the Fan Fest downtown, and getting the concert together there at PNC, and just everything. The Hurricane, they nailed it. And I know I've been critical of the jerseys and whatnot. We'll do our jersey tier list as well, but you know there's so many so many people wearing the Stadium Series jerseys, and, I'm like, okay, at that point, you see so many folks wearing them. Like, all right, it may not be my personal cup of tea, but they're not god awful. They're not like the Smashville ones or anything like that where, you just don't wanna wear them. Yeah, they nailed that, and plus, like, once they were out on the ice kinda skating around, they alright, yeah, they looked a bit better, the full get up and all that. Yeah, they looked better then, but the atmosphere there, the Hurricanes really, they were wanting to go for a college football atmosphere. I think they really kinda nailed that, having the NC State band out there, the college students down on the floor. Yeah, obviously the mascots, Mr. and Mrs. Wolf out there, and, I think they really nailed it, and, it was definitely an experience that it's hard to put into words. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I can do this." I can do a quick segment of talking about the experience and whatnot, and now that I'm doing it, I'm like, "Crap." It was an experience that's hard to put into words, especially, like, when you've been I mean, whether you're a new fan, an old fan, or whatever, it is an experience like no other, and having been, a fan since I was a little kid, to see, like, how far they've come. My first game, it was still called Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena, then obviously RBC Center, then PNC Arena, and it's crazy. And, there's so many people there for the Hurricanes. Obviously, a lot of Washington Capital fans, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I want them to be there. But, like, whenever, like, it was a Hurricanes crowd. Because so often, whether it's like the Capitals or the Penguins or the Rangers, there's a lot of the opposing fans there. And, you really get those cheers. Obviously that you heard those there last night as well. Or not last night, excuse me, Saturday night. But like it was a Hurricanes crowd through and through. And like when the Capitals came out, like it was so loud of boos. It was so cool. And obviously the Hurricanes coming out was really loud of cheers. And then the fire and the fireworks. It was an experience. Like the jokes of, oh, it's time to relocate the team. They got no fans, all that. I mean, those jokes were old a while ago, but you look at that, sold out, about 57,000 people there. I think those jokes are done. Well, they should have been done a long time ago, but that right there, that showed, that those jokes need to go. And it's definitely going to be like, pull up one of the pictures or whatever from them when someone makes that comment, like, oh, yeah, no fans, sold out stadium series, you know? But, obviously the pregame fits for both teams, honestly, nailed it. The Hurricanes going with the old school golf, the Capitals going with, varsity Letterman jackets. Yeah, both teams nailed it there. Loved that. And it's definitely, yeah, I definitely think the Hurricanes will be hosting an NHL event uh sometime soon. Yeah. And I've kind of talked about it before, but I definitely feel like once the arena renovations are done and the area around has been built up some more, uh I definitely feel that they're going to make a big push for an all-star game, for a draft or something like that. I definitely see them doing that for sure. And need to go back and listen. But I did see where, Tom Dundon, when he was on the radio yesterday, did say that, once the stuff starts, this off season of the renovations, that one thing they are going to address is the parking there, because well, that'll be something we talk about tomorrow. But some folks were they struggled with the parking. Sitting in traffic for so long to get in, and then same to get out. That's definitely going to be something that needs to be addressed. And I feel like that's just a byproduct of it being not an old arena, but an older arena. Its first season was what 2000 or something like that. It's 23 years old now, 22, 23 years old. So I feel like that's just kind of gonna be something that comes with time. And then you have so many fans there. Okay, and it's kind of stuff that with state games as well. Yeah, parking can sometimes be a bit of a pain. With so many people there, so I'm not surprised that that's going to be something that needs to be. They will be addressing. It's something that should have been addressed a while ago, but you know, aside from that, and then some things that I feel the league and state, you know, didn't necessarily hit hit a home run on. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. And one thing before we go, obviously, you had the stadium series, but yesterday you had the alumni game, and you had Frozen Finley, the NC State men's hockey team going against UNC Chapel Hill's men's team, and you know the crowd that those drew, ridiculous for an alumni game and a college club hockey game. They're not NCAA level; these are club teams. Drew I'm not sure the attendance on the alumni game. I saw the crowd, stupid crowd for an alumni game. But for the college game, seeing between 24 and 26,000. Even on the low end, it's the second most attended hockey game in North Carolina history behind the Stadium Series. PNC Arena, they can only get about 19 plus thousand in there for hockey games. When you factor in the standing room, which we've talked about those records before. And so it's the second most attended hockey game in the state's history. And either one puts it in the top 20 for most attended hockey games or college hockey games since 2002, 2001, 2002. I believe if it's the low end, the 24,000 puts at 18. If it's the high end, the 26, it'll put it at 15. That's crazy to think about. I think that the university has definitely got to, and we'll see about Chapel Hill, what they do there. But I think NC State, they've got to look at their men's team about getting them up to NCAA level. They've been just product on the ice. They've been ready for quite some time now. Division One, no. I think it'd definitely be a Division Two level. Starting out, because it is, just graduating from club level. But you know, they average more in attendance than some of the NCAA level programs. Some like the smaller ones. Obviously not going to draw more than football or basketball or baseball or anything like that. But so like the smaller programs, they already average more in attendance from them. They get more of a buzz on social media than some of those other programs. So I feel like it's time for the program to, like, once the season is done, really sit down and look at that program and start the process of moving them to the NCAA level. I think it's time. They've been ready, product on the ice wise, for a while. They just drew one of the top 20 attended crowds in college hockey history. And they're a club team. Obviously, that's got to be some sort of club team record or club sports record, obviously. But yeah, I think it's time that the university looks at that. But again, the Hurricanes, that's their most attended game, outfit just under 57,000, so it was a heck of a weekend of hockey for the state of North Carolina. Definitely shows just how far this team and organization has come. And I love that they did play, some 25-year anniversary videos throughout the game. That was really nice as well because it's 25th season. I think it was perfect that the Stadium Series took place in this season. I think it was perfect. I wish we could have had it, when we were originally supposed to. I think it was fitting. We get in the 25th anniversary season. I feel like it was fitting. It was nice. But at the end of the day, that's come and gone. I'm excited to see some of the numbers of what it generated for the economy. I'm really excited to see that. I imagine we'll see that, within the next couple of days. But it's time. That's in the past. We're gonna have fun reminiscing tomorrow about all of it in one of the episodes tomorrow. But now it's time to look ahead tonight against St. Louis. We've talked about what the Hurricanes need to do. Just one last recap before we go. What the Hurricanes need to do tonight: get off to a strong start. They've been pretty good about that lately. Let's see that continue. Do not underestimate the Blues. I know they obviously just traded the captain and Vladimir Tarasenko. They're kind of blowing things up there in St. Louis. That does not mean that you're guaranteed a win. This is the NHL. Any team can beat any team on any given night. So the Hurricanes need to come out, treat it like they would any other game, and play to win. Don't just sit back and put their feet up. St. Louis can beat you, but you need to beat St. Louis. And also playing the full 60 minutes. That's been a criticism I've had of them for quite some time. Sometimes, especially in games like this, where you feel it's one that they should come away with the win easily, they don't play the full 60. Where they get off to slow starts, which we've seen that before, or they take their foot off the gas in the third. Let's not see that. You ain't got to run up the score on them, but you got to play the full 60 minutes if you're going to get this win. Because, again, anything can happen on any given night in the NHL. Hurricanes do all that. I think they're coming away with the win tonight. And, make sure you enjoy watching the game tonight, whether you're there at the game, whether you're at home, whether you're out. Enjoy it, folks. And as always, make sure you are following the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. And subscribe to the show on YouTube. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, where in one episode we recap tonight's game, and in the other we reflect on the Stadium Series. And as always, let's go Canes.